Welcome to Broken Grounds video series. I'm Kareen, and today I want to talk to you about getting perpetual greens in your garden. So in permaculture, we're always trying to design for self-maintaining and self-perpetuating systems. And although in cold climates we do still have a lot of fruit trees and berry bushes to choose from and some herbaceous perennials, it's inevitable that we will want to have an annual vegetable garden for food. But annual vegetables take a lot more work, and this is where self-perpetuating greens come into play, or as any kind of self-seeding annual. So a self-seeding annual is a plant that comes up and you harvest some of it, but some of it you also let go to seed. And then that seed at the end of the season disperses itself and then is in that soil and comes back the following year. So it's almost like a perennial, but it might not come back in the exact same space. So behind me, I have a perpetual greens garden of red and green Oreck. So I've had this garden here for the past 4 seasons without doing anything. So I harvest from this garden early in the spring and throughout the summer, and then a lot of it goes to seed. It disperses its seed in the same patch, and then I have it that following year. And if it ends up coming up in the pathways or in other areas of my garden where I don't want it, I simply take it out. So for those of you who don't know, red and green Oreck have a little accompaniment here. I think a chicken is laying an egg. So for those of you who don't know, red and green Oreck is a great braising green. It's great for use in soups. Less tasty raw, although you could certainly have it as part of your salad, but I wouldn't sit down and have a whole bowl of green Oreck salad. So it's been really great to have this in the garden because I've done essentially nothing. I haven't even watered this patch, and here we are at the end of June. So really great option. It does outcompete other greens though, so just to be aware. So if you want a perpetual greens patch of red and green Oreck, that's great. But you could also think about red Russian kale, other lettuces and mustard greens that will also self-seed fairly easily. But I wouldn't then try to have a green Oreck and red Russian kale patch of greens, because inevitably what I've found is that the green Oreck will take over the rest of the greens. So just that to keep in mind. So in my garden, in other areas of my garden, I do have some volunteer kale that's coming up. I have volunteer broccoli. I have volunteer borage. I have volunteer calendula. So in those ways, they get, again, a jump start on the season. So it's almost like having a perennial crop. And that way you get that harvest that much sooner. So really consider it. If there's a patch of your garden that you can dedicate to having perpetual greens, I'd highly recommend it. So if you do have experience with this, please share it in the comments below. What varieties have worked for you that you find come back year after year in your garden. And I hope you're having a great growing season, and I look forward to seeing you soon.